Hello everyone, welcome back to Shay Spills podcast. I'm your host Shay, aka Sheilannn. Hello, how are you doing? Long time no see. Welcome back to the fourth podcast episode of Behind the Streams. This week's guest is MorkyMork1, aka Mark. He is a Rocket League caster streamer. I didn't know what a caster was until I started talking to him on the podcast, and I learned a lot. And he also has been a caster for Wild Gaming, which is an Irish esports company or team here in Ireland, and is now recently signed with Sub-Saharan African League, which is in South Africa. He is going to be casting or being a caster for them, which is a big deal, and it should be really interesting. And I don't play Rocket League very much. I'm quite bad at it myself, and I've been playing it for a bit, and I got to the point I just uninstalled it because I'm just shockingly bad at it. And yeah, he knows his stuff about it more than me, so we were talking about that, and also talking about female streamers and his opinion. And interesting enough, the games he didn't like, which was surprising, but look, everyone has their opinion, and we'll just start the conversation, and here we go. So for anyone who doesn't know who you are, introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is MorkyMork, or Mark, whatever you want to call me. I'm a Twitch streamer and a Rocket League caster who's cast for RLCS X and RLCS 2021-2022. Casting is now kind of what I'm focused on more, but I still do a bit of streaming. I'm also on Twitter at MorkyMork at Morky_Mork1, where I post funny tweets and also about my casting and my Twitch streams and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm an Irish man, 30 years old, from Dublin originally, living in Carrick-on-Shannon now, and you've been streaming for a year. So yeah, there we go.
Nice. And of course, you are caster for Wild as well.
Originally I was a caster for a while. I'm out actually casting for Endpoint, which are an English org. Wild, unfortunately, don't have a Rocket League team at present. That may change by the time this goes out. I don't know. But for right now, I'm casting for Endpoint and also for the Sub-Saharan Africa region on the main broadcast.
Ooh. How did you get into streaming and casting?
Well, I suppose like a lot of people who started streaming the last year and a half, it was because of the pandemic. I'd always thought about streaming, about casting, but I never had the cojones to follow it up. I just never thought I'd be good enough at it, so I didn't try. I think that's a problem with me. I'm afraid I fail, so I don't try things. Mm-hmm. But the pandemic was there and it was happening. You know how it was, Shay. It was pretty bad. Yeah. There wasn't much to do. The social interaction, I was going a bit stir crazy in the house. So I decided to start streaming. So I started up a Twitch channel. Decided to start casting at Rocket League, just doing like casting, like hosting tournaments where I give away money, but also casting over the gameplay. And from there, it just kind of exploded. My channel just kind of went from strength to strength, and streaming became something that I love doing, and casting became something I especially love doing. So it just went from there.
And just to explain to someone who doesn't know casting is for non-gamer, what is
it? Casting is, so it's like commentary, but it's commentary over esports. So specifically, it comes from the word broadcasting. So you're broadcasting to a community about a certain gameplay. So for me, that's Rocket League. So it's basically commentary over esports. Got shoutcasting. Basically, we get very, very hype. We can go very loud. So we basically shout down the mic when things happen. It's a lot more, I think, emotional, a lot more involved, and a lot more, I don't know how another word for it, a lot more personal than regular commentary is. So that's why it's called casting rather than commentary. It's esports commentary, but it's called broadcasting or casting.
And was it mostly Rocket League when you started streaming? Or was there other games you were playing with?
It was mostly Rocket League, yeah. Rocket League was kind of a big one when I started out. I've branched out since then. Splitgate, some Among Us, Jackbox, community games, all that kind of stuff. But it's still mostly Rocket League. Rocket League is my biggest far and away channel. It's basically, my channel is basically Rocket League. If I don't stream Rocket League, I don't really do well. But if I stream Rocket League, I do very well. So it's mainly Rocket League, but it's mainly me casting Rocket League. It's not actually me playing it. I very rarely play Rocket League on my own stream because I'm not very good at the game, ironically. Even though I'm a very good caster, I'm not very good at the game.
I'd be the same. What has been the most memorable moments you remember from your first few months on stream?
I think it was my birthday stream, honestly. That was insane. So I did a birthday stream in September. I was turning 29. I think I've been streaming for like 4 months at this stage, 3 months, 4 months at this stage. So not that long. I think it was 3.5 months actually, to be exact. I decided just to do a birthday stream, just me drinking, me having a bit of fun on stream. But the amount of support I got, people showed up, came into the voice call. They hung out with me all night. You know what I mean? Even when I was eating pizza, I was literally just there eating pizza on stream. Didn't give a hoot. I don't know if I can curse or not, so I'm not going to curse.
You can.
Sorry, I didn't give a fuck. Just eating pizza. Like, just that's all I was doing. All I was doing on stream was eating pizza, and people were just there, like, loving it, and it was mad. Also, I went to the bathroom with one of my friends, Aiden sees things, who's also a Rocket League. Well, he used to be Rocket League esports commentator or caster. He cast my bathroom break, so I came back and watched the clip, and it was hilarious. So yeah, that was definitely one of the best moments of my stream in general. Like, not just the first months, but I think just in general, that was an amazing experience. You know, how some people show love, and the first ever hype train, first L5 hype train happened that stream. So, you know, there's a lot of firsts in that stream, which was lovely, and the amount of support and the outpouring of love was just incredible, and I loved it. I didn't think it was popular at that stage, and I think I had less than 500 followers. So the fact that stream was so big was extremely heartwarming for me.
What has been your favorite highlight from your stream from this year?
Favorite highlight? That's a tough one. See, there's a few. From my stream, it's got to be doing the show match between Chippy and Darku. So they are two Rocket League players who are pros. Well, Darky was a pro content creator for Wild, and Chippy at the time was playing as a Rocket League player for Wild. So I decided to do a freestyle match. So freestyling is basically where the two players try to score the best goal possible. They try to score like mad goals on each other. So using like flip resets and musty flicks and stuff that people that don't understand Rocket League won't know about. But it is a very, very fun form of the gameplay. So that was a lot of fun getting, you know, those two people in, two absolutely mad players. Like, one of them's a professional player. The other one could be pro if he wanted to, but he doesn't want to be pro. Also, he's too young. He's not 15 yet, so he can't be pro either. So getting them two in to do an incredible stream. Also, the tournament I did during that time. I did a 2v2 tournament while that was going on. So it was like the show match of that 2v2 tournament. That weekend was incredible. You know, I did 2 days of casting for the tournament. You know, had €100 on the line, prize pool, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was really good fun, and you know, something that I look back on fondly.
What's your process on planning for your streams and your social media?
I don't really have one. That's me being honest. Like when I do plan out the week. I try to plan out a schedule for the week. So I usually have my casting gigs, which I put down, and then I see if I can stream. Like this week, I just can't stream. A, because my internet is not good right now, and B, because I literally have no time. I'm casting tonight. I'm casting Thursday. I'm casting Saturday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I just don't have any time to stream this week, unfortunately. Even if I had internet, I wouldn't have time to stream. But I suppose I just do a schedule. I just decide what days I'm going to stream, what games I'm going to play. Then I kind of put it on social media. So Discord is a big one for me. Kind of Discord, ask people what days they would like for me to stream. I think it's really important to get your community involved, to ask them what they want as well. Like, it's all well and good, you know, doing your own thing, but if your community's not there, then there's, I don't say there's no point, but it's just, it's not as fun. I think you'll agree with that, Chase. Out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got your community there. So I always ask in my Discord if people want like to join in the stream with what time suits them, and make sure it suits me, obviously. So I usually give it like a few times and a few games, and then we kind of go from there. So my planning actually comes from my Discord. I ask them what time they want me to stream at, what games they like me to stream. So that's how my planning really goes. It's very haphazard. For socials, then I should use Twitter more than I do for my streaming. I use Twitter mostly for casting and for kind of just general thoughts. I don't use it a lot for streaming, which is probably not a good idea. I probably should use it more, especially since I get almost 300 followers now on Twitter. So I should probably start using that more for advertising myself. But it's just not something that comes to mind. I don't. That's one thing I don't do very well streaming wise is advertise myself. I really don't. I should do better. But I don't know. It's just weird. I just enjoy kind of going with the flow. Like sometimes I just do random streams. I just hop on a stream at like I'll decide 8 o'clock at night to do a stream at 9 o'clock, and just tell people in my Discord that I'm going to go streaming. So it's entirely random at times. There's no real process. There's no real motive behind anything I do.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from casting. Casting obviously is a lot more preparing work in that. There's a lot of research as we go into that. There's a lot of looking at previous results, looking at teams, looking at players, seeing the players' results, seeing how well they've done. So when I'm casting, it's a lot more focused. Like if I'm casting my channel as well, it's the same. I look back at previous results. I look into all the players, look into the teams, see how they've done, see the previous results. Look at their gameplay if they've got any gameplay if they stream, and look at their streams. Say hi to them, whatever, have a chat with them. But if I'm just doing my own stream, it's very haphazard. It's very just kind of thrown together. It's just what it is. It's just fun. It's just me being random and me doing my own thing. But for casting, it's very laid out. All the scenes are set up perfectly. The stream deck is used. The mic obviously is obviously always used, but it's especially used for that. Research, all that stuff. So it depends on the stream. If it's a casting stream, then it's very researched. If it's a non-casting stream, then it's just kind of random and it's whatever I feel like doing the day.
And for your Discord, how do you find that currently? Is it like, do you find it's more useful than like, let's say Instagram and Twitter? Do you find more people would be more interactive in there than your Twitter?
Recently that has changed. Up until very recently, my Discord was very active, and it's where I got most of my interactions. But ever since I kind of have started casting or LCS again, my Twitter has kind of exploded a bit. I've got lots of new followers and famous people following me now as well. So Twitter right now is better, but Discord in general I think is better because it allows you to be more interactive with your community. I personally think that anyway. I don't know about you, but I personally believe that Discord is better for interacting with the community. You can tune in anytime. It's not like Twitter where if you miss a tweet, you're kind of fucked. You don't be able to interact with them. Whereas Discord, the messages there for you to see. So I feel like Discord is more interactive for me. I prefer Discord. I love it. I'm on it 24 hours a day if I was awake. But yeah, no, I find Discord is better for stuff like that, for interacting with viewers, interacting with followers, interacting with friends. I think it's just a better system.
I think my problem at the moment is like my Discord was very active until I'd say nearly halfway through September, and then it's gone dead. But I'm getting more active. I'm getting more activity on my followers on Twitter, like you. But I have a thing on my Discord, which you probably would see. It's like Twitter, so it shares my tweets onto Discord. So anyone who's missed out on Twitter or who isn't on Twitter, they do get to see my tweets just in case. But it's gone very quiet.
Yeah, I think that happens though. I think because the pandemic is over now, people are starting to go out more and do things themselves. I think Discord is going to be a bit quieter than it normally was. I think that's just the way it goes sometimes. But hopefully it gets a bit better. Hopefully we get more interactions and stuff, and hopefully it doesn't quite die on us. Because Discord is great. It's really, really fun to use, and it's really, really good way of interacting with your audience and your community and people that care about you. So hopefully it doesn't die off. I'll be active in it. I'll be active in it from now on. I'll make sure I post once a day in there.
What's your first video game you ever played?
That's a tough one. I'm 30, right? So I'm old. So
You're not.
Well, in terms of esports, I'm a boomer. That's for sure. But I think the first game I played was Lara Croft. No, it wasn't. Sorry, it was Sonic the Hedgehog. On the Sega Mega Drive. That's the first game I ever played. Sonic the Hedgehog. That's the first game I remember playing anyway. But yeah, there was that. There's Lara Croft. There's Pokemon, obviously. A few of those games, kind of. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Sonic the Hedgehog. I think that was the first game I played on console, and I was on the Sega Mega Drive that I owned. And it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed Sonic. I still enjoy Sonic now, even though the games aren't great, because there's a lot of good memories there for me with Sonic. a lot of happy memories, a lot of good times spent with Sonic. I also remember kind of Road Rash. I don't know if you've heard of that game. It's kind of a motorbike game, but you could also like kick people off motorbikes and stuff, and it was a lot of fun. So that's another game I played very early on in my life, as well as a few others. But yeah, like I've been gaming since I was 3-4 years old. You know, I've been a gamer all my life. It's a big part of my identity. It's a big part of me in general. I don't think I'd be the person I am without some video games that I've played for definite. And there's some video games that I still go back to today and just have good memories with, like Halo 3. I've got great memories of that. Play it with my friends and stuff, having them over for LANs, you know, I mean, going to each other's houses, playing Halo 3 together. Having, you know, going to the shop or whatever, but Halo 3 was the thing that brought us together at first for all these events. So those are really, really important to me. Some games like that are really, really important to me, and it's really important to have that. I think if you're a gamer, just have those memories. A lot of nostalgia tied into games, I think, and I've definitely got a lot of nostalgia in some of the games that I have.
Who was your favorite video game character?
As a kid or in general?
Well, both, let's say, if you have to.
Well, as a kid, I suppose it was Red from Pokemon. Even though he had no person, I think because he had no personality, that just allowed me to kind of pretend that I was him, and allowed me to myself in him. And then, kind of as an adult, it's either the Chosen Undead from Dark Souls, because I think the story of being a small and insignificant being in a world that is utterly depressing and utterly crushing is kind of a good allegory for life in general. That, you know, you're insignificant on a global stage, and that, you know, while you can still affect the world by being a small little thing, which is pretty cool. I think you can still affect change while being a small thing. Master Chief obviously is one up there as well. Master Chief is definitely something that's a character that's, again, a lot of love for Master Chief because of Halo 3. Because of those experiences, but also he's just such a kind of character of Xbox and in general in video game history. I think he's really important. But yeah, those would be the three, I suppose, that would be the most iconic to me and the most my favorite characters to me, just because of their story and how they act, and obviously, importance in my childhood and stuff like that. And
So no spoilers, but what a popular game that everyone seemed to love but you didn't like?
there's been a few. The Last of Us. I didn't enjoy The Last of Us. I thought it was very cliche. I thought it was basically a movie inside a video game. I didn't think it was that good. Uncharted, I think Uncharted to knock off Lara Croft. I think there's a few other games I don't like as well, popular games. Grand Theft Auto 4. I found Grand Theft Auto 4 was pretty shit. I'm not gonna lie. Nico, let's go bowling. No, fuck off. I don't want to go bowling. Leave me alone. I don't know. There's a good few games that I find people loved and I just didn't like.
And did you try The Last of Us Part 2 at all?
I did not. I saw the video of it, the gameplay video, and I didn't like it either. So
I prefer like the first. I think like, I mean, I haven't actually played the games, but I've watched it through YouTube because that was the only way I could, because I didn't have a game console. And like compared to the first and the second, like the second one was like, what the fuck's going on? Why they did a couple of upsets to the viewers and game players, that they killed a character off that's very popular, and I think that kind of turned people off. But the ending as well wasn't what we were really expecting.
yeah, the ending was very depressing, which I don't think is fair. On the character Ellie, I don't think it was a fair end for Ellie. Even if it's not the end, I don't think it was a fitting ending for that game. But that's my personal opinion. People have different personal opinions. Obviously, won lots of Game of the Year awards somehow. I don't know how, but it did. You know what I mean? Like, to be fair, Doom Eternal didn't win soundtrack of the year, so the game of the year awards this year was scuffed anyway. So, but yeah, you know, I I just didn't like it. I didn't like the end of it. I didn't like one either. I thought one was overhyped. And there's a few games like that I just think, even though they're good games objectively, I just don't like them or don't think they're that good. Overwatch is another one. I think Overwatch is an overhyped game, in my opinion. I don't think it's that good. I don't think it's as good as everyone makes it out to be. I don't know why it's such a popular game. But yeah, there's a few games like that are really popular. I just don't like. It's not that I don't like them or can't see why they're good or why people like them. I personally don't like them. I think they're overhyped.
Mm. If you had to live in the world of the last game you played, what world would that be?
That's Rocket League. Oh god. Yeah, I'd be pretty in trouble, I think. Playing in rocket power cars, getting demoed every now and again. I don't think I'd survive too long. Honestly, I'm not very good at the game normally, so I'm not very good at driving either. So I doubt combine driving and rocket cars and my fact I can't control a rocket car is probably not a good idea.
They're very hard to steer, I have to admit.
They are, yeah, especially in the air. When you're doing aerials, it's really hard to adjust.
No.
Yeah, I could barely do them either. So it's not just you. The gold gang here turning up, turning out. But yeah, it's Rocket League. If it was a proper game, I believe it'd be Red Dead Redemption 2. So that'd be the last game I played. No, it's not that. What's the last game I played? I'm trying to think what the last game I played is. That isn't Rocket League. Oh, Splitgate. So, but that also doesn't count. So I'm trying to think of a first-person game I played. Forza Horizon 4, actually. That would be the last one that I played that's proper, makes sense. So I'd be a race car driver in UK, which would be pretty cool. I think that'd be pretty cool.
If you could delete one video game forever, what would it be? But no spoilers again.
Ride to Hell Retribution. I think it's the worst game ever made. It's an insult to gaming. It's an insult to victims of sexual abuse. It's an insult to anything that stands for any kind of good use of anything in the gaming industry. It's a horrible game. It's honestly one of the worst games. It's not the worst game I've played in my life. I played it because it was that bad. I wanted to see actually how bad it was, and it was atrocious. The voice acting was terrible. The gameplay was terrible. The acting was terrible. Some of the cutscenes were terrible. There were like sex scenes where they were fully clothed, but also I'm giving a spoiler here because I don't care. There was a scene where one of the females that you can romance was basically being sexually assaulted, and then it went from like her being sexually assaulted and saved by your character to them having sex, and it's like that is spit in the face of anyone that's dealt with sexual abuse in the past. That is just disgusting.
Yeah.
So that's the game I delete from history.
Okay. Do you think PC gamers are superior over to console players?
See, this is an interesting one. I think the PC is without a doubt the better system to play on. I don't think there's a question about that. I do think though that some PC players have a bit of a stick up their arse and they're like, "Oh, I'm better than you because I don't play on console." Firstly, PCs aren't cheap, right? Even like a good PC is not cheap. Secondly, there's the accessibility thing, right? So games on console can just be more accessible to people. Like it's easier to plug in a console, play a console, all that stuff. Thirdly, as well, like there are adaptive controllers for consoles for people with disabilities. So Microsoft specifically have a really, really good adaptive controller for their consoles. That's really, really handy for people with disabilities. So people with disabilities on PC may not be able to play PC or keyboard or mouse. I can't play keyboard or mouse because of my dyspraxia. So I have to use a controller. Does that make me a lesser player? I don't think so. But some players, some people would think that, PC players think that because I'm not playing on keyboard and mouse that I'm not a true gamer. I think in terms of like having the better system, PC players are superior. In terms of like egos and stuff, I think definitely people with PCs are a bit egotistical. But then you've also the console wars. So I think ultimately we're always going to have that kind of I'm better than you because I played X system, which is just silly in my opinion.
What needs to be done by gaming companies, streaming networks like Twitch for female streamers?
Well, firstly, I think definitely we have to be more proactive in encouraging females to play games and to stream. which means that for game companies specifically, it's about getting more female characters in games. So, especially lead characters. You know, there's not too many games out there that have, you know, female protagonists. Lara Croft being one, Samus Aran obviously from Metroid being another. But you know, there's not too many you can name. Unfortunately, that are female-led characters, female-driven characters, or female-driven stories either. Ellie from The Last of Us obviously is a great example. But even then, obviously, I didn't enjoy that game, but at least there's some representation there. I definitely think that in terms of helping female creators stream, there needs to be more of an onus on, you know, removing toxic masculinity from the scene. So toxic masculinity, for anyone who doesn't know, is basically like just acting like an alpha male just for the sake of acting like an alpha male, like being like, oh, get in the kitchen or whatever. Like being overly sexual, being overly masculine, basically, towards people. And I think that's a big problem on Twitch and on Twitter, is that females are being sexually harassed, and Mod and Twitch isn't doing enough about it, in my opinion, or YouTube or anywhere. There's not enough being done. You know, females are sent death threats, whatever, if they don't respond in a positive way to sexual messages. You know, they're called all the names under the sun. You know, it's assumed that if you're a big streamer because you're female, it's easier, when that's just not true. You know, any big streamer out there, it takes a lot of work and a lot of dedication to become a big streamer. Doesn't matter if you're male, female, or whatever. And look, there are obviously, you know, exceptions. You know, some hot tub streamers are getting really big because obviously they're, you know, using their body to get viewers, which is totally legitimate, by the way. I think that's absolutely legitimate. But, you know, most streamers out there, most female streamers out there are not like that. They are very much like playing the game. They love to play, doing that stuff. So I think Twitch has to do more in terms of combating sexual harassment, abuse, threats, all that stuff. I think social media in general has a lot to do for that kind of stuff to help out female streamers. I also think that the government have something to do here as well. I think in general that governments need to band together to try and help out, because believe it or not, streaming and gaming is one of the biggest industries in the world, and it's very unregulated in terms of like protections and stuff. I think we definitely need to get more protections for female streamers, females in general, in the world, you know what I mean? But definitely in gaming and streaming, I think we definitely need to get more protections for them through either laws or through you know, companies taking a harder stance against people that are sexist or racist or transphobic or all those other things. But sexism especially is a big issue, I feel, on social media and on Twitch. I think that definitely needs to be combated. What can game companies do? I think game companies can encourage females to stream. I think they can do you know, host streams where they bring on female streamers to do games and stuff. And get that viewer more notice. Also moderate that chat a bit better, because obviously mods are really important. They do a great job. Big shout out to any moderators out there. Whoever you are, hello. Hope you're having a good day. But yeah, I think game companies can definitely do things like that, like host streams where they invite female gamers on to play games, or even like games that have not been released yet. You know, do stream on their channel. Have fun with it that way. I know Xbox do great stuff in that regard, with, you know, their Xbox streams, and PlayStation do it as well. To be fair, they have really, really good streams for PlayStation Now and stuff like that. So things like that would be more positive. I think just having even more female streamers being put in the spotlight by these big companies is always a good idea.
Mm-hmm. What from your mistakes from streaming in Twitch or cool?
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Sorry. What have you learned from your mistakes from streaming?
One thing I've ever learned is don't just pick mods that are nice people, because they can turn out to be assholes. So one of my mods that I had as a mod, he did a PowerPoint presentation to become a mod, and I was like, yeah, fuck it, you know, you seem pretty sound, we'll let you be a mod. Eventually he kind of got a bit mad with power, started like banning people randomly, for timing people out randomly, like for a few minutes and stuff, and clipping me saying things that probably shouldn't have been clipped. You know, one time I accidentally was singing a song, rapping a song. I didn't realize that the N-word was there, and I was going on the the lyrics, and I accidentally said the N-word. Obviously I apologized straight away, all that good stuff. But yeah, that was a big whoopsie for me. But he clipped it and thought it was a good idea to stick it on social media. which wasn't cool. And then he also just started banning people. So I eventually had to remove him as a mod. Before I could remove him as a mod from Discord, he completely destroyed my Discord. So I had to remake my Discord, make a new one, which was a big problem. So yeah.
Yes. I think I was in your Discord when that happened.
Yeah. So he deleted everyone from my Discord. At that stage, I think I had 300 people in Discord, so I had a pretty big Discord, pretty popular as well. And yeah, he basically just destroyed it, and so that happened, and so just make sure you're picking the right mods. Also, research the songs you sing if you're doing karaoke, so you don't do what I did. That's another thing I would say. I just don't rap anymore now. I just refuse to do rap songs just in case there's a lyric there, because I get carried away and I just think of the lyrics and I don't remember. And it's nothing that I do in real life. It's just that you're reading along with lyrics and you accidentally say a word and it's all a mess. So I just don't do any things like that anymore. I also don't do any songs that have explicit language in them on purpose, so that I don't say words like that or demeaning words. Also, kind of setting up scenes properly, making sure I'm streaming in 1080p and not 420p is a big one. I was streaming 420p for a while, so that was an issue. 520p, sorry, for a while, so that was an issue. What are mistakes I made? I don't know. I think that's it. I think that those are the big mistakes that I made and that I've learned from in streaming. Just having to be more careful about your brand and about you as a person and who you trust and stuff like that. And it's unfortunate that I have to now think about things like that, but it is what it is, and just be careful with your mods on Twitch.
Mm-hmm. What would your advice be for a new streamer or content creator?
Firstly, make a schedule. I think a schedule is really, really important. Having set days where you stream, the people that come in can see you. Eventually you don't have to set a schedule at all. Like me, I just do random willy-nilly stuff. But at the start, setting a schedule was really helpful for me to get streamers in, to get people in, looking at me and stuff like that. Depending on what you want to do, like how you want to go, I'd say stick to a certain style. Like for me, it was casting. If you want to do commentary over gameplay, that's great too. If you want to just have jokes, have fun with chat, do that. Just stick to that. Just don't be chopping and changing between like doing casting and commentary over gaming and chatting with chat. Turn off your viewer count. Ignore it. Just ignore it at the start, because it can be a real disheartener to see no people in chat. But if you can't see it, then that helps a lot. Make sure you're picking the right mods, so people that are in chat that are pretty nice, pretty in chat regularly, but that are also good people. Make sure you vet them. Make sure that they are these people, that they're mature, that they're able to mod for you, and that they're good mods. Don't be worrying too much about getting affiliate at the start. It's more fun to not be affiliate now an affiliate, and I prefer not being affiliate, honestly, because money's great and all, but also the freedom that comes with not being affiliate is a lot better, I feel. And yeah, that's it. That's the advice I give. Oh, also get a good webcam. Make sure you've got a good webcam, because people like seeing your face, and the more they see your face, the more personal they can get, and be more personal means they come to your stream more often. If you come to your stream more often, that means you get more viewers, and that's always a good thing. So there you go. That's my tips.
What's the plan with your stream or casting in the future?
Well, for right now, the stream is kind of on hold because I don't have internet, really. Internet's really bad at the moment. I'm using a hotspot for my phone. So I can just about cast. I can't really stream, unfortunately. But once I get into it, I'll probably go back to streaming 2 or 3 days a week. Doing some Rocket League, some other stuff. Hopefully get back on the horse. Have some fun with it. For casting, obviously, it's RLCS season, so it's a lot of RLCS gigs. Casting Rocket League at the professional level. That's the big goal right now. Is to get on the mainstream. But I'm on a mainstream right now. Say it's Sub-Saharan Africa. Come Saturday. So that's gonna be interesting indeed. But yeah, so those are the goals right now. Get on the mainstream. Really keep grinding the Rocket League scene. Keep getting more gigs, paid gigs, and hopefully become a really, really big streamer one day. Really big Rocket League caster one day. That's the goal.
What's the advice you would give yourself who was just starting to stream again?
The same as I'd give a new person, honestly. It'd be pick your mods more carefully. Turn off your viewer account, because at the start I was very worried about viewers. Ignore your followers, not as in like people that come and follow you, but as in like how many you have. It's not that important. It's about who comes into the chat that's important. Definitely sign up for IGL sooner. because that will get you into casting sooner. IGL's Indie Gaming League. It's where I started casting. So sign up for that sooner to get into casting sooner. Join Oral Ireland soon as well. Rocket League Ireland, join that. Oral Ireland, join that sooner as well. To get more involved with that community. What else? Get a good mic from the start. Just buy a good mic. It's gonna be so worth it. It's gonna be such a good investment for you. So important. Buy a good headset as well. Buy your Stream Deck. Stream Deck is great. It's a lifesaver. It makes like so much easier for your casting and stuff. And that's about it. Just buy some stuff that you need, and also, you know, pick your mods more carefully, and be more consistent with your streams as well. Like, don't be waffling as much as you do. That's what I'd say.
And final question: would you be going to TwitchCon in 2022 in Amsterdam?
I would love to, but I just don't think it's in the cards. We're pretty tight for money. It depends. Obviously, if I do well with the casting, then I probably could say well for it and go. Breed the partner as well. She'd be delighted to go to Amsterdam. She loves Amsterdam, so she would love to go there again. But for right now, I don't think it's going to happen. Hopefully it does, but I just don't see it happening, unfortunately.
And for anyone who doesn't have your socials already, what are your social medias so anyone can follow you?
Obviously, MorkyMork1 on Twitch and on Discord. So MorkyMork1 number 8501. My Twitter is at Morky_Mork1. That's really it. That's all the socials I have. You can also check me out on Wikipedia. Search MorkyMork on Wikipedia, and you can find all my socials there as well. So yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it, and hope everyone has a good day.
Thank you. Thank you so much to Mark for taking part in the podcast, and I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation and episode of Behind the Streams. We're going to be back next week, every week on Friday at midday for a new episode. Hopefully that is the plan. Make sure to follow Mark on his social media, on Twitter and on Twitch, and to follow myself at SheilannO on Twitter and everywhere else. It'll be below in the about page or the details of this podcast episode. With that, thank you so much. I will see you guys all very soon, and with that, adios.